Hi everyone. Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score. It's time for our college football week 9 picks and predictions. We're diving deep into the best bets of the week, but before we get into tomorrow's slate, let's quickly recap what went down last week. Saturday treated us pretty well. We went 5-2, but the weekday games were an absolute disaster. I went 0-5 during the week. Every night felt like a new shot at redemption, but somehow, every quarterback I bet on seemed determined to ruin my sanity. I mean, 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Carson Beck, I'm looking directly at you. That brings the overall record for the week to 5-7, and for the season, we're sitting at 66-56. Since we dropped 7 games, that adds $35 to the giveaway fund. Some of you might remember it being $125, and you're right. That's the total prize in the Discord giveaway. If you haven't joined yet, the link's in the description. It's completely free. Just hop into the Discord, hit the giveaway tab, tap the green checkmark, and you're entered. Winners get announced Thursday night in the Discord. No YouTube comments section chaos this time. Too many fake accounts last time, so we've moved it all in-house. Now let's recap the winners from Saturday. First up, Baylor vs. TCU. We had the over 66.5, and that one hit. Despite 2 separate lightning delays that each lasted over half an hour, these teams found ways to score. The final was Baylor 36, TCU 42, totaling 78 points. Baylor actually led early, 7-0 after the first quarter, but then they got crushed 21-3 in the second. They won the third and fourth quarters, but that second quarter collapse cost them. Either way, the over cashed. Next, we took Michigan minus 5.5 against Washington. That game was close early, but Michigan pulled away in the second half, winning 24-7 at the Big House. Underwood was sharp. 21 of 27 for 2 touchdowns, no picks, plus 25 rushing yards. Running back Jordan Marshall stepped up too, rushing 25 times for 133 yards and a touchdown, plus 20 receiving yards. Solid win for Michigan without their star back. Then came the Holy War, BYU vs. Utah. And we rolled with BYU plus 3.5. That one hit too, as BYU won outright 24-21. Utah's been exposed as fraudulent, while BYU might be legit playoff contenders. Their upcoming stretch is brutal though, at Iowa State, at Texas Tech, versus TCU, at Cincinnati, and then versus UCF. They'll need at least one win in those first 3 to stay alive, but for now, that cover was gold. Next up, the shocker of the week, Stanford plus 1.7 against Florida State. I should have taken the money line because Stanford won outright 20-13. Florida State, what happened? Mike Norvell somehow still has a job despite that loss. They outgained Stanford 444-283 in total yards and still lost. Florida State fans, that's tough. Next, we had Kent State vs. Toledo over 51.5, and that one cashed easily. Kent State opened the game with a 75-yard touchdown on the first play, took a 10-0 lead, and then got steamrolled as Toledo scored 45 unanswered points, winning 45-10. The over hit comfortably. Kent State's now 1-6, but they've got winnable games left against Bowling Green, Ball State, and Akron, maybe even 2 wins in that stretch. Now for the heartbreakers. Iowa minus 3-1 and 50J on the game but only by 1. They had control, but right before halftime, their field goal got blocked and returned for a touchdown. That swung the entire game, and they ended up squeaking by. Penn State, meanwhile, is now 3-4, facing Ohio State next, then Indiana. Bowl eligibility is slipping away. Then came Baylor plus 2.5 again, and after those lightning delays, it just wasn't meant to be. But the chaos really started with Liberty minus 10.5. They led 20-6 at halftime, then somehow let New Mexico State score 21 straight points. Liberty escaped with a 30-27 win, but no cover. Quarterback Ethan Vasco threw 20 of 30 for 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That theme would continue. Then came Western Kentucky versus FIU. We had the over 57.5, and Western Kentucky scored exactly 0 touchdowns, losing 25-6. Their QB threw 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Add that up with Liberty's QB and we're at 5 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. It was brutal. The next disaster. Sam Houston plus 2.5. They started 3 different quarterbacks, and only 2 of them threw touchdowns. 1 from the starter and 1 from the third stringer, making it 2 touchdowns to 5 interceptions at that point. Then came San Jose State versus Utah State, where we had San Jose State. They lost a close one, almost converting a Hail Mary at the end, but their defense just couldn't hang. And finally, Miami minus 13.5 versus Louisville, and this was the nightmare of all nightmares. Carson Beck went 25 of 35 for 271 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, bringing the total across all those QBs to 2 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Miami lost 24-21, blowing any control they had over the ACC title race. Their offense looked dead, their defense uninspired, and now their path to the ACC championship depends on winning tough games at SMU, Pitt, and Virginia Tech. Realistically, they'll finish 9-3 or 10-2, but 9-3 probably won't cut it. Now let's turn the page to Week 9 picks. First up, Kennesaw State minus 2.5 on the road at FIU. I know, weekday games have been rough, but I'm taking another swing. My numbers make Kennesaw State a -7 favorite, so there's value here. They're 4-2, with their only real loss a 1-point game against Wake Forest. They run the ball well, play disciplined defense, and even with their starting QB questionable, their backups capable. FIU's 3-3, fresh off a shocking 25-6 win over Western Kentucky, but just 2 weeks before that, they lost 51-10 to UConn. They're unpredictable, and I don't trust them. Kennesaw State should roll. Next up, South Florida minus 3.5 at Memphis, and we're also taking the over 65.5. Memphis just lost their first game of the season, a road loss to UAB, who literally just fired Trent Dilfer. USF is 6-1, battle-tested with road wins at Florida and North Texas. Their offense ranks 13th nationally, averaging 476 yards and 42 points per game, while their defense sits around 80th. They put up 63 points on North Texas and held FAU to just 13 last week. Memphis has been inconsistent. Their wins over Chattanooga, Georgia State, and Arkansas don't exactly scream quality. USF's offense is too balanced and too explosive. They'll bounce back and cover here. Next, Delaware minus 9.5 versus Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee is a disaster. 1-5, their only win coming by 1 point over Nevada, and they even lost by 20 to an FCS team. Delaware's defense isn't elite, but their offense averages 431 yards and 30 points per game, and this is the perfect bounce-back spot after 2 straight losses. Middle Tennessee's offense ranks 119th, scoring just 17 points a game, and their top receiver and running back are both questionable. This should be all Delaware. Then we've got North Texas minus 27.5 at Charlotte, and we're taking the over 60.5 too. Charlotte is a mess. Last week, they got obliterated by Temple in a 35-point home loss. North Texas, on the other hand, destroyed UTSA 55-7. Charlotte's been losing big to everyone. App State by 23, UNC by 17, Rice by 11, South Florida by a billion, Army by 17, and Temple by 35. Their season's done. North Texas will keep rolling. For the final stretch, Ole Miss plus 4.5 versus Oklahoma and the over 52.5. Ole Miss shouldn't be underdogs here. Oklahoma's offense hasn't looked the same since their QB injury. They've scored 26, 6, and 24 points in the last 3 games. Ole Miss, meanwhile, is 6-1, averaging 491 yards and 37 points per game, the 8th best offense in the country. They just dropped 35 on Georgia. Lane Kiffin's team is rolling. Oklahoma's defense might be elite on paper, but Ole Miss is different. Expect fireworks. Lastly, we're going with Ohio minus 10.5 versus Eastern Michigan. I said I'd back Ohio every week, and I'm sticking with it. Eastern Michigan is 2-6, just lost 44-30 to Miami, and ranks 130th defensively, allowing 453 yards per game. Ohio's offense puts up 427 yards a game, and their RBQB duo, Parker Navarro and C.A. Bangura, is one of the best in the MAC. Ohio doesn't lose to Michigan schools. This one's going to be a blowout. That wraps up the Week 9 college football. Appreciate all of you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one, here on Beyond the Box Score.